Many believe that gender is a result of biology, but in reality what it means to be a man or a woman, or even that we have these two boxes to check, all boils down to norms society imposes on each and every one of us.
Gender is a socially required performance we put on to conform to these social norms. It is a set of conventional gestures allocated to each sex. Examples of this include everything we've been taught about boys and girls growing up. That boys are strong, girls are weak, boys like blue, and girls like pink. These seemingly arbitrary behaviors indicate genitalia that are not readily discernible to those around us.
However, as Butler explains, we can see that these behaviors are not derived from biology because they are not in harmony with nature. For example, women are expected to be hairless, but we know that this is against nature, being that women must continually shave in order to abide by this standard. No matter how painstakingly women try to keep the hair from their body, it grows back.
Intersex individuals also demonstrate that the gender binary is a social construct rather than biological, being that intersex individuals' biology does not conform with the gender binary. 1.7% of people are born intersex. With this statistic in mind, it would make sense to accept that bodies are naturally diverse. However, society clings to the gender binary, creating a multitude of so-called disorders to explain these differences. In the end, most intersex infants are shoved into either the male or female category in order to appease society. These children will be conditioned to perform gender correctly, which shows that the behaviors we associate with each gender are not biological. If they were, these behaviors would not need to be taught.
In Karen Martin's study of preschoolers, children at age 3 were more likely to experiment with gender while playing dress-up than children at age 5. This shows the progress of gender socialization as a child ages. Many of the behaviors we associate with men and women, such as men being more physical and women being submissive, were being inadvertently taught to young children. Teaching children how to properly perform at such a young age creates the illusion that these differences are natural.
Furthermore, socialization at such a young age has far-reaching implications into adulthood, like constraining gender roles concerning what it means to be a good mother and wife. In the US, the ideal mother intensively nurtures her child, throwing aside her own aspirations and sometimes even her own well-being. Because of this expectation, the weight of child-rearing falls mostly upon women. When Noel Chesley studied stay-at-home fathers and breadwinning mothers, they found that each parent had ambivalent feelings towards their new roles due to the pressure from friends and family around them. However, with time, each parent adjusted to these roles and found new respect for the roles typically forced upon their counterpart. In fact, many of the men enjoyed staying at home with their children and learning how to nurture them in the same way their female counterparts were taught to. This shows that with time and practice, gender norms can be changed and thus are not biological.
Another way the gender binary constrains women is through the policing of their bodies. Women are meant to take up as little space as possible, which extrapolates to women starving themselves and being deprived of nutrients. Cosmetic companies have capitalized on this by shaming women into buying nourishing products that can be consumed in a way that does not detract from their femininity. This marketing perverts the human needs of women for vitamins and nutrients into superficial products only meant to beautify, rather than to truly nourish. This unattainable, ever-changing standard of female beauty is imposed upon all women, and the mere fact that this standard changes proves that it is socially constructed.
However, men too are constrained by gender expectations. This is perfectly illustrated by the fag discourse. When a man's masculinity is compromised, he is deemed a fag. Fag is invoked because according to our society's construction of masculinity, to penetrate is to have power, and to be penetrated is to be devoid of power. The fag discourse constrains men because they are expected to be in control at all times and devoid of anything reminiscent of femininity, such as natural human emotion.
In summary, gender is a socially constructed system that is harmful to all people. Solutions set forth by individuals such as Judith Butler are to disidentify with these gender norms. We must go outside of the boxes in order to render them invalid and create a society where all individuals are free to express themselves without the constraints of gender.